I think it's best this time that we start the show with just a clip. You can watch the clip and then I'll explain. So let's take a look first. So that person was talking about something you don't hear very often, which is why are there Latin people in America? Why are there so many illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants? Well, it's because Latin America doesn't function well. Well, why is that? Well, it's because America invaded every single country in Latin America except for Costa Rica, and they're all destabilized. When you invade a country and you blow a bunch of people and install your own government, it creates a destabilized situation, and it's basically a fake government that the people don't really trust, and that just leads to corruption and destruction. Every country south of the border has been invaded except Costa Rica. And here's a fun fact for you. Name the country in all of Latin America that's most attractive to U.S. corporations because of its stability. Costa Rica. U.S. companies love going to Costa Rica. Why? Because it's a stable country. It's also the only country that wasn't invaded by America. I wonder if there's a connection. I saw this woman and she was talking about why are migrants here? Because America goes and destroys these other countries and invades them and overthrows them and destabilizes them. And that's why people come here who are Latino. I remember famously talking about CalExit, and one of my Anglo friends looked at me and said, well, that's crazy. And he brought this other Latin guy with him that I never met before. And I turned to his Latin friend and go, well, what about the fact that they, invaded, stole the land, and the fact that they've invaded every country in Latin America and destabilized them, and that's why people have to come here. And he goes, oh, yeah. And my Anglo friend goes, what? And I just realized this is like common knowledge amongst Latin people that America destroyed Latin America. It invaded it, it conquered it, and that's why people are here. That's why it happens. And that was a story that my grandma, my Abuela, taught me. And it was pivotal for CalExit because why do you respect a group that goes around and destroys other people and then complains that some of those people try to live here because you destroyed their own home? I mean, it is the most arrogant, cruel characteristic to show at the same time. And I just wanted to point out, this is an American problem. Okay, this isn't just the evil, bad Republicans. Yes, the Republicans are typically more for American military invasions, but this starts with Teddy Roosevelt and goes all the way through George W. Bush, Hillary Clinton, and Barack Obama. And Teddy Roosevelt is still admired today. He basically started a policy that got a lot of people killed, raped, invaded, and destroyed an entire continent. Still admired today. Let's take a look. And the point is, I want you to understand, it's not just the Republicans, it's the Democrats too. Basically, it's an American tradition to destroy Latin American countries. And it doesn't stop. Hillary Clinton was willing to do this with Barack Obama to Honduras in 2014. Barack and Clinton, 2014, still doing the tradition. Oh, you didn't hear about the overthrow of Honduras. It wasn't covered in American media. I wonder why. Nobody's interested. Nobody criticizes Hillary for that, or Obama. And now you see this protest where they're going to go in and invade Haiti. And people are going, this is what you do, America. You just punk out these little countries south of the border, and nobody ever talks about it, and you get away with it. Let me show you a couple things. I want to show you real quick. So here's Hillary Clinton. And she was running for president and said, wow, I'm so glad to get the endorsement of John Negroponte. Hillary Clinton's so happy about to get the endorsement of John Negroponte. And here's Esquire going, why are you happy to get that endorsement? That's weird. I wonder why. Let's take a look.
9 out of 10 war criminals officially endorse Hillary Clinton. The latest, John Negroponte. Who's John Negroponte? Well, under Reagan, he created a staging grounds in South America for dictators, torture regimes, government kidnapping rings, and death squads. Well, this November, he's voting for Hillary Clinton. That's right.
Yeah. Not alone. There's John Negroponte shaking Barack Obama's hand. And why would he do that? Well, he was the Deputy Secretary of State to Obama for at least a year. That's him hanging out with Obama. Obama never criticized him, and he worked for Obama. Oh, and I need to show you. Here's Teddy Roosevelt, the great American president who was racist and had racist attitudes towards Cubans and Puerto Ricans. What do Cubans and Puerto Ricans have in common? They're both Latin people. What do Cubans, Puerto Ricans, and Filipinos have in common? They all speak Spanish. And here's Teddy Roosevelt. This is corollary to the Monroe Doctrine in 1905, where he said, we will control the entire Western Hemisphere and do whatever we want with it. Even though they're sovereign countries, we'll do whatever we want. So for America to go like, oh, we respect sovereign countries. No, they literally said in 1904, 1995, we don't care. These are independent countries. We'll do what we please, and they will not be allowed to talk to anybody we don't want them to talk to. That's colonization. You're controlling the foreign policy of these countries. So there's Teddy Roosevelt, still respected. And there's John Negroponte, who helped do death squads in El Salvador, where American soldiers were sent down to execute civilians who were suspected of being communists. He also overthrew the governments in Nicaragua and a couple other countries at that time. So Teddy Roosevelt starts this idea of we're going to do whatever we want to Latin American countries in 1905. John Negroponte is one of the key chief architects doing this in the 1980s, overthrowing countries, setting up dictatorships that the people didn't want, and having U.S. soldiers train and also participate in executing Latino civilians. That's pretty racist when you ask me. It's almost like Latin people don't matter, and they'll just kill as many as they want. You can overthrow these countries. That happened in 1988. 1905, 1988, doing the same thing. 2014, overthrowing Honduras, same thing. Here's John Negroponte in the 1980s. Then he's there in 2014. Then he's endorsed by Hillary in 2016. Then he's hanging out with Obama in 2009. And he was one of the worst architects that helped to overthrow Latin American countries and get Latino people who were civilians executed by U.S. soldiers. And liberals still love him, and conservatives still love him. And he's still doing what Teddy Roosevelt said. So that's why I back Calexit, because I wouldn't even be here if America didn't have this policy of invading countries and destabilizing them. And America still does that today. So how is it possible to have loyalty to a country that destroyed your homeland, ruined life for your family, still behaves that way today, and who has both political parties salute the chief satanic officers making this happen? America likes invading Latin American countries. They feel fine doing it. They don't respect their sovereignty. They will get civilians there killed. Obama did it. Clinton did it. Negroponte did it. Bush did it. Reagan did it. The other Bush did it. This is what America is. That's why I'm okay leaving it. Thanks, Abuela. You told me la verdad, and I appreciate it. She passed away, but I still like pointing out that, I was raised Latin, and this was a key story growing up. When I saw this person pointing it out, I was like, I need to highlight that, because they never talk about that. I remember we at Yes California were one of the few organizations to put that into print. And I actually started getting some of the other members of Yes California to say it. And every time we'd say that in print, the reporters' eyes would get really big, like, because they're not used to hearing that. And it's the truth. That's why I wanted to highlight it for you, so you know what kind of people we are, what kind of Californians we are, and where we came from, and what we stand for. Totally agree. Yep, that's what America does. And, Obama, Clinton, Bush, the Republicans and Democrats both do it. This is an America thing. America loves invading Latin American countries, killing them, overthrowing them, not respecting their sovereignty while talking about you have to respect Ukraine's sovereignty, and then they don't respect Latin American countries' sovereignty up to the state, and then they celebrate people who are part of that. That's the America you're part of, Latin people. So if you're Latin and you live in California, I'm asking you, why are you loyal to that? Why is that okay? None of these people got in prison. No one's even criticized for this, and it continues. Why are you okay with that? Think about that. All right. See you soon.